What up, YouTube? Welcome to episode 4 of Deeply Creepy TikToks. I want to thank everyone for showing up today. All the people who sent in videos, you know who you are. Thank you very much. If you have a video that's rare or that hasn't been seen on TikTok, or even ones that have been seen on TikTok, send them to my email below in the description. Yeah, we'll debut them. And if you want me to debut them with your name, we can do that too. But yeah, without further ado, let's get it started. Yeah, that checks out. Just like we always thought.
In my last video, I talked about how everyone's freaking out with the Wendy's cheeseburgers on the 18th being 1 cent, and I showed you guys the Simpsons reference.
I'm here at Krusty Burger for the launch of the highly anticipated Burger Squared. Krusty, what can you tell us about this fantastic new sandwich?
I'm glad you asked, Kent. We start with grade A beef, feed that to other cows, then kill them and serve the unholy results on a 7-grain bun. Burger Squared!
The math checks out.
Cows eating cows? That's an abomination.
No, Lisa, you're a vegetarian, but these cows have made a different choice.
And now this lucky reporter will be the first human to sample this delicious crime against nature. Mmm, juicy, flavorful, with just a hint of...
Hey, that's my check-cashing arm, you stupid!
So the 18th is National Cheeseburger Day in the United States. So not only is Wendy's giving them away for a penny, but McDonald's is selling double cheeseburgers for 50 cents, and Burger King is giving them away for free. What's really bizarre about the whole thing is just everything in the world that's going on right now. But according to what professionals are saying about current statistics with meat, we are at the lowest levels that beef production has been at in 50 years. If y'all want to take the chance of eating out and eating fast food meat at all, much less eating it on the 18th, given everything that's going on, have at it. You're on your own there.
So it's been a couple days now, and I don't know, man. Was the zombie thing supposed to happen like quick? That could be future stuff too. I mean, it could have just been National Cheeseburger Day.
This for entertainment purposes only. Watch this with your third eye. Entertainment.
Pour people into zombies. As odd as that sounds,
Talking about turning people into zombies now.
But the FEMA have already put out zombie commercials and CONOPS on that, correct?
That's correct. If you look at Con Plan 8888, Stratcom put that out in 2011. On page 2, they say, "Oh, this is just for examples, just for demonstration. You know, don't worry about it, so we don't offend other countries." The problem with that is, you look through that con plan, it's all about 5 different types of zombies. There isn't anything in there about opposition forces. There isn't anything about winning political battles or counterinsurgency. It is only about a zombie apocalypse, defending it. And you will see that every NIMS compliant, practically, agency, or whether that's state, local, or federal, has already had their zombie apocalypse preparedness training. They've already done their practice.
Already
the CDC has had a zombie apocalypse preparedness website up for the last 5 years now. They've reduced it to a PDF cartoon. Even in the
Now, this is just for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to need y'all to go through this Zombie Preparedness 101 packet, We don't know what's going on. It's very entertaining. So people eating raw flesh in Walmart like zombies have been seen now? This is for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, let's watch this real quick. Y'all see that shit? Yeah, in the future we're seeing all the signs of, zombies. We have zombie control trucks that have been spotted all over the US. The CDC have dropped a zombie preparedness for you guys to go and look into. Now we got people in the middle of the goddamn store, you feel me, eating raw meat. Are y'all ready for The Walking Dead? Y'all ready for when Jabisha, she activate and they turn them frequencies on? Once again, aren't you guys entertained with everything that I said?
Yeah, bro, we entertain.
Bro, what in the ever-loving shit am I looking at right now? Dude, this kid's coming up on me. Like, hey, buddy. Are you okay? You can't be out here. Where's your mommy? Hey, buddy. Holy shit, dude. What in the fuck? Bro, what in the
Put my cheaters on. Jeepers creepers. Where'd you get those peepers? Oh, those weepers. How they hypnotize. Yeah. Where'd you get those eyes?
Is this a skinwalker on his roof?
All right, so let's break that down. The first one looked like a cute little baby with Down syndrome. The second one, that one looked like his back, the baby's back was morphing or doing some weird reptilian thing. The third one, that was a skinwalker.
Bro, have anybody else been paying attention to Beyonce's Renaissance tour? No, I don't know if Beyonce at home chilling. You feel me? I don't know where Beyonce at, but it looked like she got body doubles who's doing her tour for her. And I know a lot of y'all finna say I'm crazy, but just hear me out, right? I mean, they kinda been showing us since the 90s that they can manipulate us with masks. For example, Norbit, Eddie Murphy played every last one of these characters. You feel me? So I don't know why it's so hard to believe that these people really be wearing skin masks, not just in the movies. Or do y'all want to talk about the Nutty Professor where Eddie Murphy played all 6 of these characters? I mean, it's really hysterical at this point that y'all really believe they only using these props in movies. You feel me? Right, now let's get back to this Renaissance tour. So y'all remember the all-white party, right? That Beyonce attended earlier this year. And Beyonce was looking like Beyonce, correct? First and foremost, who is this? Because that's not Beyonce. It's almost like we seeing a different person in every state. Bro, all these pictures are from the Renaissance tour. You feel me? Just look at the body type right here. To be real, this don't even look like her, but let's talk about these hands on her outfit. Just take a wild guess who hands they are. Or let's talk about how it was a portal at every concert. Look at her hand, you know she got a pledge of loyalty. Look where the arrows at now. Y'all see them lines coming down? And don't tell me those wrinkles. Y'all know exactly what that is.
Yeah, I believe him about Beyonce. I think that most stars, even our president, Joe Biden, have body doubles. Did you guys see that movie where Joe Biden has his body double out in the open? There was no security, or there was no Secret Service around. Pretty strange.
You ready? Every consumer cell phone will be part of a nationwide emergency alert test.
Now, this test is going to be sent not only to your cell phones, but it's going to be sent to your radios, your TVs, probably any of your smart devices.
And even if you usually have your phone on silent, this one you ain't going to be able to turn off.
The timing and the date is interesting because the term 10-4, along with its meaning, is part of terms used in law enforcement.
Y'all ever notice before they run a roller coaster, they do a test? Are they about to put us through a big roller coaster?
They're going to send a signal and it's going to sound like a phone ringing. It's going to send you into a trance or a zombie-like state. You ever seen that movie Kingsman?
I didn't expect it to be that effective.
What kind of response are we talking?
100%.
So everyone's been affected, whether they have a SIM card or not. Don't use your cell phone.
Have you guys seen that movie, Cell? This entire movie is based around the idea that cell phones will transmit a frequency that turn people into apocalyptic zombies.
No, I'm not ready for that. You guys, it's just a theory.
Yeah, you can't help but wonder how, these movies always have these really unique plot lines. They're almost so crazy that it's hard to believe a fictional writer would be able to write that. Like, it's like too crazy. It has to be true. Like, I think that might be what the security alert thing is all about. Whether or not it turns us into zombies, I don't know. Guess we'll see.
Mars was the original planet that humans were from.
Okay.
And then something happened that we all had to fly to another planet and live on. So there used to be like civilization that lived on Mars.
But now it's all dried up, right?
That's all dried up. Now back this. On Mars, there's an element on the periodic table called xenon. Now, xenon on Earth is only found, this is crazy, is only found after a nuclear explosion.
No.
Oh shit, that's not even the super mode button.
I said no. What the hell?
Yeah, so theory, and it goes hand in hand now. What if on Mars there was a nuclear warfare, destroyed the whole planet, but people were able to escape just in time, landed on Earth, and they had to restart from nothing.
So we are the aliens.
We're the aliens.
What the hell? Nah, that's kind of weird. But that makes sense also.
Because that's how low-key the Earth would end up looking like that if we did have
if something happened like that. Yeah.
No, but this is like real proof. Like this is search it up.
Yeah.
It's real shit.
So I can't quite get over if these two are super smoked out or if they're onto something. Sometimes they make me wonder, and sometimes I'm like, come on, bro. So if anyone's ever heard about what they're talking about and know it's a fact or can show some kind of evidence, show us in the comments, please.
There was no year zero. You know why there's no year zero? Because the Romans came up with the calendar and they counted using Roman numerals, and Roman numerals don't have a zero. It was not yet invented.
They didn't have a zero?
No! So it went from 1 BC to AD 1. BC is before Christ, AD is Anno Domini in Latin, the year of our Lord.
And for all my observant Jews out there, CE, also known as AD.
If you live in America, watch this. Entertainment purposes only.
Over the weekend, North Korea is simulating a nuclear attack on the U.S. The simulated strike came early Saturday morning in response to joint military drills held by the U.S. and South Korea around the peninsula earlier this week. Now, just a few days prior, Pyongyang held a similar drill focusing on South Korean targets. State media reports that the North Korean drills were meant to warn the enemies of the actual nuclear war danger. Now, News Nation senior national security contributor and retired Air Force Lieutenant General Richard Newton is here to weigh in. Lieutenant General Newton, you and I have talked about this before and how North Korea likes to flex their muscle and things like that. The two of these simulated nuclear strikes, unless...
And this is to the chosen. We really don't give this no energy, but it's also good for us to stay alert and see what they're talking about. Be aware of what's going on, be conscious of what's going on, and always have a plan for if anything happens. As you can see, North Korea is doing simulations on how to blow America up. But that's just for entertainment, gang. Aren't y'all entertained?
Kim Jong don't want no red, white, and blue. Let me ask you, if you were a dictator of an entire country and everybody worshipped you and kissed your feet, right? You're basically like this god. You'd want us to blow your shit up?
There's been 5 major extinctions in the history of the planet. There's the Ordovician, the Devonian, the Permian, there's the Triassic, Jurassic, and then the KT extinction, the one that killed the dinosaurs.
What made the dinosaurs go extinct? Do you realize they're asking the wrong question? The question is not what made them go extinct. The question is, did they go extinct? People say, come on, now dinosaurs aren't in the Bible. Well, of course the word's not in there. They didn't make up the word till 1841. The word computer's not in there either, but there really are computers, okay? Now, they didn't call them dinosaur, though. They called them dragon. See, the word dinosaur wasn't made up till 1841. So for most of human history, these creatures are called dragons. Did you know dinosaurs not even in the dictionary in 1891? For most of human history, they were known as dragons. Now, dragons are mentioned in the Bible 34 times. Dragons are listed in the dictionary in 1946 as now rare. As the population of people began to grow after the flood, the population of dragons began to go down because nobody wants to live next door to a dragon. People killed dragons for meat because they were a menace, to prove you're a hero, to prove you're superior, competition for land, or for medicinal purposes. Many ancient recipes call for dragon blood, dragon bones, dragon saliva. Why? Gilgamesh is famous for slaying a dragon. A Chinese legend tells about a guy named Yu that surveyed the land of China. It says after the flood, he surveyed the land and divided it into sections. He built channels to drain the water off to the sea and make the land livable again. Many snakes and dragons were driven from the marshlands. Yeah, that's just normal. If you want to build a city, you got to, drive off the dragons and then build your city. Why would the Chinese calendar have 11 real animals, the pig, the duck, the dog, and a dragon? Why would they put a mythical animal in there? Could it be that at the time they came up with these 12 symbols, there were 12 real animals? Here's one of the oldest pieces of pottery on planet Earth. It's a piece of slate from Egypt, first dynasty of United Egypt. It shows long-necked dragons.
This brings up a pretty super important point, that you really have to take the time frame of what you're talking about into context, because the way things are written, they change over time, right? The meanings of things, they change over time. And I think that one of our errors today is that we read history from our viewpoint of how we live culturally in America, and we try to adapt that thought or that idea of how things are, that perception, to the way things used to be, which it doesn't work.
That's because 9/11 was about 9/10. That's really what it was about, because if you think about what happened the day before, you got Donald Rumsfeld getting on national news saying, hey, we just lost $2.3 trillion. We did an audit of the Pentagon, and $2.3 trillion we cannot account for.
And the wing of the Pentagon that got hit was the accounting wing.
Exactly.
This is the ultimate conspiracy theory, according to Joe Rogan.
If you're a conspiracy theorist,
yeah,
this is the real conspiracy. The conspiracy is have as many social problems as possible that people get distracted by, that people concentrate on, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's masks, vaccines, pride, trans movement, sponsor drag shows for kids if you want people to get mad and want people to get distracted.
Right.
Sponsor
Let them
that.
focus on that.
Get people to think that it's a good idea to do that, and watch the outrage. Get people to think that the oceans are going to be boiling in 5 years.
Right.
Get people to think that if we don't change it, that was one of the things that Greta Thunberg said 5 years ago, that we'll all be dead.
In 5 years?
Well, it's 5 years later, and we're not all dead. So you definitely are wrong, and you're 16. So why are they flying you out to Ukraine? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So there's so many of these fucking social distractions that are in our face all day long about everything. And I feel like sometimes that's what I feel like about Supreme Court rulings. We're going to take away Roe v. Wade. And everybody's like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah.
What? And that's another one.
Yeah.
And then that one becomes a thing that people identify as the most important problem that they have to solve. And while all this is going on, money's getting moved around, decisions are getting made.
Yeah.
And it's a brilliant cover for wild shit.
Yeah, because all you have to do ever really is follow the money on anything.
Yeah.
And you see what's actually happening, and everything else is a distraction.
See, I agree with a lot of what Joe Rogan says. Shout out to Joe Rogan. You're the man. You speak your mind. You tell the truth. I think he's right. I think that they do bring a lot of things up, and they try to put it in our faces, and they try to make us all worry, and they try to make us freak out and fearmonger. And what do you guys think about that clip, man? I agree with Joe on that one.
The Earth might be bigger than we thought. For years, people have debated over the shape of the Earth, if it is round or flat. Now, this might just all be a conspiracy. But what if the Earth had more than just 7 continents? In Antarctica was just a giant ice wall that kept us from seeing the rest of the continents. What if once you made it past the ice wall, you'll find the 20 continents that are really being hidden from us? And what if there was a map that showed this? There are theories that these continents contain prehistoric animals, aliens, and advanced civilizations, and that the 7 continents that we are living in is actually a giant farm or business owned by a small handful of families that make up the filthy rich in the real world, or in the other continents that we don't know about.
This for entertainment purposes only. Have y'all seen this Trump float? Pay attention to all the symbolism on it. That's definitely Roman. All these eagles, that's Roman. Roman and Greece. Number 2, why is they having a parade about you in Italy? Look at the bottom of the sword. Yeah, look at that. Y'all see that? And then that definitely looks like some Russian shit. Let's go back to it. That definitely looks like some Russian shit on his shoulder. And the whole giddy up looks like a big ass beast. I don't know, Trump dog, but I got some questions about the symbolism that was on your float. It's some questions that's very quick.
This has got to be a joke. I mean, I've seen what Trump looks like, and he has dad bod. Remember that picture that came out when he was supposedly with that porn star Stormy Daniels? They make him look like he's some strong, mighty warrior. Like, that's got to be a joke. That float has got to be a joke. That's not the Trump I know.
Do not fall for this. Watch closely.
I'm telling you, I'm getting the off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the off in everyone.
Watch your hands.
Believe it, or they cannot believe it.
That is a satanic hand symbol. And it comes from the Baphomet. This woman is a paid actor. When they do things like this, they have to slip a little bit of truth in there, like this satanic hand symbol. The Bible says, which ye have spoken in the ear in the closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. In other words, whatever they speak about in secret must be shouted from the rooftops. And this entire thing is part of an agenda to condition you to believe that there's aliens. This is because they are planning a fake alien invasion to fool the masses. They are working closely with demons and Satan, because aliens are nothing more than demons. Look what it says here in Zechariah. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said the length of it is 20 cubits. That's like 30 feet long. And look what it says here. This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. So we know UFOs are a curse. And look what it says here. He was asking what he saw. He said, what is it? And he said, this is an ephah that goeth forth. This is an ephah. Looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? And look, this is talking about the UFO. And he said, this is wickedness. And they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. Genesis 1:8, God called the firmament heaven, which means they are flying these things around just in our atmosphere. Not from outer space, that's fake. Aliens are demons. Do not fall for this when it comes. I got a lot more to say about this topic. If y'all want a part 2 on this, like and follow, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
The symbol of what she was doing, it represents as above, so below, which means that everything on earth has a representation, of physical representation in heaven. Why she was doing that on the plane, I don't know. I think we all do know that she was an actor.
There's been some interesting studies done on the faces of giant statues. One in particular is the face of Ramses. There's a statue at Luxor, and it's perfect. You can't achieve that degree of symmetry just by eyeballing it and doing it by hand. It's virtual perfection. Take a copy of that photo, bang on, like very front on, and then you flip it. It's perfectly symmetrical, left to right. It's also not something that is done in artwork. So, people often say, well, Michelangelo, he carved David. It's a beautiful statue. I've seen it. It's incredible, but it's human. It's not symmetrical.
What's the explanation for this that modern archaeologists use?
They did it by hand, right?
They do it by hand. That's literally what they say. You just don't, they're not engineers and construction experts at the end of the day. That's the problem. You can't achieve that degree of symmetry just by doing it by hand.
I want to hear from all my artists and sculptors and engineers and people out there who know about this. Put your expertise in the comments for us.
What if I told you the Kraken is real? That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not even gonna explain it. Just kidding. So, the Kraken is an old sailor's legend about this gigantic sea creature that's sometimes depicted as a massive octopus or a huge squid. It was actually first talked about all the way back in 1180 AD by the King of Norway. He warned sailors about this giant sea monster in the area between Norway and Greenland that was attacking and eating the crews of ships. This legend about massive squid things was thought to be more of a sailor superstition, but may have been more real than people had thought. So only recently, in 1985, was an adult colossal squid ever captured, and it wasn't until 2003 that a second one was even caught. So now in the modern day, we've only captured a total of 8 colossal squid, and of those 8, 6 were just remains found in the stomachs of sperm whales. And the biggest of the colossal squid we've captured weighed over 1,000 pounds and was over 43 feet in length. So a lot of people argue that the colossal squid we've captured aren't the biggest and that there's much larger adults out there. That being said, there's this theory called vertical migration that suggests that all these large deep-sea predators actually dived deeper in recent times because of increased traffic over the area. So basically, maybe there's even bigger colossal squid that used to come up to the surface and attack ships because of the lack of boats that travel over their waters. I personally think if there's any legendary monster that's real out there, it would have to be the Kraken. Krakens are real. Team Kraken. Longer video on my YouTube channel if you want to learn more.
I'm sold.
This is the moment a UFO investigator presented 2 bodies to a Congress that were allegedly non-human. The researchers claimed the corpses supposedly recovered from Cusco in Peru were not part of our terrestrial evolution, with 30% of their genetic composition still unknown. Carbon dating by the National Autonomous University of Mexico found the bodies, that had 3-fingered hands, no teeth and stereoscopic vision, were more than 1,000 years old. The bizarre presentation has drawn skepticism, as it is unusual for fossils that have been subjected to analysis to be coated in what appeared to be sand.
Oh yeah, this motherfucker right here kind of just lied to the Mexican government and the entire world, right? In the midst of everybody's country releasing UFO and alien data, this guy was like, shit, this is low-key my ticket to fame right here. He brought out multiple aliens in these large-ass boxes, right? And claimed that they were corpses from over 1,000 years ago. Not only did he do that, he swore under oath that he wasn't capping. This is what he claims they look like, bro. Be for real right now, fam. I'm not gonna lie, for a good couple of hours, the internet, Twitter, Instagram, all that, they were running with this. They were like, oh my god, we seen aliens. This shit is real. Y'all should have known he was capping, bro. The first red flag should have been when he brought fucking ET out in a big ass box. Aliens might be real, but bro, they're not gonna look exactly what we've been portraying them as for over 50 years now. The second red flag was believing a guy whose profession is a ufologist, bro. What the hell even is that? It didn't really take people on the internet that long to look through his history and find out that he's just a fucking lunatic. This man been a fraud this entire time. This isn't the first time he tried some stunt like this.
So here's what they don't tell you. Carbon dating is extremely inaccurate unless it's done in all the right variables. A lot of scientists, they rely on carbon dating, and they even use or apply carbon dating to things that were not living, which is a fluke. Tell me in the comments if you think I'm full of shit.
Warning of cyber threats from Russia and are urging U.S. critical infrastructure defenses to be reinforced. As CBS's Bill Whitaker reported on Sunday night's 60 Minutes, it wouldn't take much to throw the entire country into darkness.
The grid is a sprawling target. There are actually 3 in the U.S., the Eastern, Western, and Texas has its own. Most of us rarely notice substations. There are 55,000 across the country, each housing transformers, the workhorses of the grid. Inside these massive metal boxes, electricity is converted to higher or lower voltages. Should a transformer explode, like this one in Manhattan during Superstorm Sandy, the system is designed to trigger a localized grid-preserving blackout. But if several sections of the grid go down at the same time, the shutdowns can cascade like dominoes. That's what set off the Great Northeast Blackout in 2003, leaving 45 million Americans without power. A few months before the assault on Metcalf, John Wellinghoff of FERC commissioned a study to see if a physical attack on critical transformers could trigger cascading blackouts.
It was actually a very shocking result to us that there's a very few number of substations you need to take out in the entire United States to knock out the entire grid.
Knock out the entire grid?
That's correct.
How many would it take to knock out putting the entire country in a blackout?
Less than 20.
And Bill Whitaker joins us now. So, Bill, just 20 substations to knock out the entire system? I mean, that's unbelievable. But your reporting is it could be even less than that.
That's right, Nora. That report was from 2013, and it actually found the number was even lower, 9. Taking out just 9 critical substations could black out the whole country.
You see how he backtracked and he said it was actually 9? Because that was on CBS, I bet you the true number is probably like 4.
Have y'all heard about what Alexa said about the next presidential election? This for entertainment purposes only. Let's listen very closely.
Want to hear some fucked up shit? Alexa, who will win the next American election?
The 2024 American election will not take place. There will be no winner. War Powers Resolution of 1973 or the War Powers Act will be invoked by the act of war with Russia and China. Once an invoked, the standing party will retain and remain in power.
Once again, this for entertainment purposes only. Who programmed Alexa? You feel me? Why is Alexa saying this? Somebody wrote this in Alexa program that we will not have an election in 2024. Why? So that mean Biden will stay president? The tensions in Ukraine is rising. Y'all just seen what North Korea and Putin just did, right? Yeah, that little meeting that they had and how North Korea said they trying to send soldiers over there into Ukraine. Somebody who got Alexa, ask her about this and tag me.
So this video actually kind of hits on something that I've been thinking about for a long time. I believe, because this isn't the first time Alexa's done this, that the Amazon is connected with the government. The government has backdoors with Amazon. They have backdoors with Facebook. Government has backdoors with all these big corporations, right? All the corporations that are the biggest got to play ball, play by the rules. And in doing so, Alexa may be picking information out of servers that are connected to the government through the servers from Amazon. It's just a thought.
The birth pains spoken about in the Bible are getting so close together right now, it's not even funny. I have no idea how someone could not notice what's happening around the world. Just about all these catastrophic floods I'm about to show you have happened over the last week. We'll get to just how shady that hurricane is in 1 minute. This one's in Turkey. This is in Greece. This is in Hong Kong. Brazil. Even in the US and Las Vegas, and there's so many more I'm not naming. And then a catastrophic earthquake in Morocco where over 800 people died. And then you add in all the fires in Hawaii. This is not normal. This is not normal, you guys. I'm telling you, it's not normal. We are so used to it to where it seems normal, but this stuff happening every day, this is unheard of. Now let's get into Hurricane Lee. The news tried to say it was only a 2% chance of it hitting U.S. land. They don't want us getting ready, you guys. They don't want us to know. I'm about to show you a model. Shout out to the guy who found this app. And look, watch as the hurricane moves. There's a draft pulling down and up, meaning it could literally hit the whole East Coast. There's been hundreds, if not thousands, of dreams of New York completely underwater. Like I've told y'all, don't forget, the news told us that this hurricane season was going to be crazy because of whatever reasons they came up with. And this right here is the weirdest part to me. The hurricane comes out of land. It didn't start in the ocean. All the formation started on land, then moved across the ocean.
Yeah, and that hurricane didn't do nearly as much damage on the East Coast as it should have. And it reminds me of the hurricane that almost hit San Diego back in December of last year. It was coming up strong and it looked like it was going to do what Hillary did, but it didn't. What happened was the hurricane actually got pulled out into the ocean before it could make landfall in San Diego. It did hit some of Baja California, but I think they were mad about that. And then maybe they used HARP to stir up Hurricane Hillary. And if the powers that be are up to no good in doing that, the next hurricane to hit the East Coast, it's going to be a monster. Why? Because they failed this one.
And who would have thought Pfizer, clearly the innocent organization that does nothing but promote human health, clearly Pfizer, the organization that has not bought the votes in this chamber and in every chamber of every government around the world, not that Pfizer. Certainly they wouldn't have had anything to do with this. But oh yes, they did. And in 1990, they found out that there was a problem with vaccines. They didn't work. You know why they didn't work? It turns out that coronavirus is a very malleable model. It transforms and it changes and it mutates over time. As a matter of fact, every publication on vaccines for coronavirus from 1990 until 2018, every single publication concluded that coronavirus escapes the vaccine impulse because it modifies and mutates too quickly for vaccines to be effective. And since 1990 to 2018, that is the published science, ladies and gentlemen. That's following the science. Following the science is their own indictment of their own programs that said it doesn't work. And there are thousands of publications to that effect, not a few hundred, and not paid for by pharmaceutical companies. These are publications that are independent scientific research that shows unequivocally, including efforts of the chimera modifications made by Ralph Baric in the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, all of them show vaccines do not work on coronavirus. That's the science. And that science has never been disputed.
You see, it's this kind of stuff. It's these ones right here, these TikToks that really piss me off. These weak scientists, right? These sneak fuck weasel scientists all know this kind of stuff. The doctors probably too. But instead of them coming out and speaking about this published science or this published scientific research, these holes let us go all the way through, get poked by this gnarly whatever juice, right? Force people out of their job, man.